Hi guys, welcome to the Odd Unicorn podcast. I'm Silas. This is Andrew, and you guys probably thought we weren't recording or that we weren't supposed to be recording, but no, we're just weird.
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry to those just listening. Dead
Oh,
space
yes.
at the beginning.
Absolute dead air. We were just acting confused.
You should go check it out on YouTube.
You should and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fun one. It is pre-recorded, as you can tell. If you're watching on Tuesday, there is no live comments, but I will still see your comments. And I will try to reply to them if they're relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that being said, our topic is stress.
Stress?
And how to not be. No, it's not.
No, it's
what
not.
am I thinking? That was a different topic.
I don't
Have we done that yet?
I don't know if we've done
We're gonna have to do that next season,
Yeah.
or maybe this season. We'll see.
Mm.
Anyway,
No, that's not our topic.
no, it's
tonight.
not.
No.
But we're coming in
I
to
mean,
the last month of season 3.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is the second episode of the last month of season 3.
Yeah.
Only 2 episodes to go.
After this one, yeah.
That's crazy.
Is it? Yeah.
So what we're actually talking about, we'll talk about stress at a different time. It's been kind of on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
New beginnings, something else that's been on my mind. Like, it's so weird. Starting something new, whether it's small or huge, it's a lot of fun, and everyone deals with it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we don't really have an outline.
No,
We'll just
not today.
see where it takes us.
Yeah.
But first, Andrew, let me see. How was your week?
My week was good. It's by the time this one comes out, I think I will have started my new job. Let me look here real quick.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it'll be like the second day of my new job.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna throw in the comments when this episode comes out and let people know okay, so like I said, second day of my new job.
Yep.
Because this episode's coming out July 11th, so the day before I'll start. But I also have a call-in or a notice to come in for jury duty on July 11th.
Yes.
So I don't know for sure if I'll end up doing it because
Yeah.
it's often enough that
They cancel
they
it.
cancel it and whatnot. But it's kind of annoying because like start a new job literally the day after at like 8:45 in the morning or something. I have to be at the
Oh my
courthouse
goodness.
in Marinette.
Wow.
But yeah, if I end up doing that, I'll throw it in the comments, say how it went or whatever.
Okay.
So you'll find out how my week was.
Yes.
But my current week has been pretty good. Just
Yeah.
fairly average. I've had multiple people at work congratulate me and like, hey, good luck on your new job. Congratulations for getting a new job. One guy, I told him, like, hey, I put in my 3-week notice. And he's like, hey, reaches out, shakes my hand. He's like, yeah, glad to hear it. He's like, I really like having you here, but I'm always glad to hear when somebody's leaving.
Wait, who was that?
Karsten. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that...
Yeah, that's a very Kirsten response.
Yeah, that was funny. But other than that, it's been fairly average. Just
Yeah.
my week,
Yeah. Though I also realized we can't really ask that about halfway through. You made it very interesting by giving a different response. But then I realized we already said how our week was going in what was it, episode 9?
Which was
Oh, there's a
recorded
spider.
yesterday.
Gross.
There's a lot of spiders here.
Yeah, especially just like this year there's been more.
Yeah. Well, we weren't actually here last year.
That's right. We were in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so my week will be interesting at the point of this
Yeah?
video, I am sure.
At the point of it, wait a minute. The 11th, that's tent
July
meeting?
11th, yes.
So tent meetings, yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll already be in my apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be going to tent meetings as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
but also I'm gonna have training.
Yeah.
So that is going to be interesting.
So we're both gonna have really interesting weeks.
We're gonna both have chaotic weeks, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to throw a comment in after this.
Maybe we can stitch it in.
Oh yeah, maybe. It's
At
like
the beginning.
record a little blip.
Yep.
Cool. Let's put it in right there. Okay, anyway, continue now.
Okay. So, yeah, so not a whole lot to talk about in that aspect, but new beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
As we just said, we're both predicting we're gonna have chaotic weeks that look nothing like our current daily week.
Yes, yeah.
Our current, average week. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be exciting. It's also going to be having to do a lot of things you didn't do before and learn a lot of things you didn't know before. So yeah. I guess I might as well give the details of what's happening with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually moving to Oshkosh to help out a church there. And I'm renting from my grandparents, which makes the transition much easier.
Mm-hmm.
But still just my own apartment, because it's like a duplex. So I got my own apartment and, excuse me. And I'm going to be still working DoorDash, but also I'm going to be doing EAA.
AirVenture. Yeah.
AirVenture, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Beth corrected me on that. She was very frustrated that I kept calling it EAA. It is AirVenture. EAA is the company. AirVenture is the event.
Yes.
So I'll be working at AirVenture.
Yes. For EAA.
For EAA, yeah. So all of that is stuff I've never done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AirVenture won't be too bad because I'm going to be working retail.
Yeah.
I've had 2 retail jobs and 1 job at a coffee shop where, it's still cash handling and dealing with customers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
But also it's AirVenture.
Yes.
So,
You're going to literally have people from around the world
wanting to buy
that you have to
groceries.
deal with.
And it's like,
Yes.
So, it's going to be a lot of fun. But also moving out, it's just like, what? I'm just doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. I actually am going to have to, this week being the week of episode 9, this is, what's today?
Today is
The
August 28th. Yeah.
August 28th.
No, sorry, not August. June.
June 28th. Today
Wow.
is June 28th when we're recording it, and I'm going to have to start packing up all my stuff, going out there. It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you? What are your thoughts on your new job?
I'm really looking forward to it. Something that I mentioned in episode 9 is that I'm really looking forward to having more interaction with other people.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about communication, how it'll be nice working on conversation
Yeah.
aspects of communication. So that's something I'm enjoying, looking forward to. Also, it's an assembly position. I already enjoy building things, putting things together. So I think that will also be something that I will enjoy at the job. Yeah, I guess I don't really know. 'Cause I know that it's going to be like start out at the lower position, whatever,
Yeah.
and working up. So, your computer just shut off.
Is it still recording?
Hopefully.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Still recording. Sorry, we got computer malfunction.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, and I think it'll be kind of nice too because, well, it's gonna be all people I pretty much don't know.
Yeah.
I've met the supervisor, and he's a Christian, so that's really
Wow.
nice. Oh, I
That
never
is
told you that. Yeah.
I don't think you did.
I haven't told you like hardly anything about
No,
that.
you haven't.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's a Christian. He goes to Section 8.
Okay.
And that's a church, by the way. I know that there's a lot of weird stuff with the term Section 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's a church. It's called Section 8 because it was built on Section 8 of the farmland. Farmland around here was divided into different sections.
Yeah.
And so that's literally...
So it's not a ghetto gang.
Yeah, well, there's... The term Section 8, I think, refers to, like, the section where they keep all the crazy people. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Something like that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Section 8 Baptist.
Yeah. But anyway, so that'll be really nice because it seems like he's going to be the one training me.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be nice to be working right off the bat with a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
So
yeah,
it seems your new beginnings seem to be, you're seeing them mostly as a net positive.
Yeah, there's definitely a sadness, I guess, aspect of leaving the job I have right now because I've gotten to know a few of my coworkers very well.
Yeah.
And then like Uncle Ben, I work with him.
Yeah.
We walk back and forth to work every day. Well, with this job, it's different hours, different place. That's not going to be happening anymore. I won't see him every day. So there's definitely going to be a kind of a downside.
Yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be some. It's gonna be a little bit sad. Like you don't regret it.
Yes.
But it will be a little bit sad.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's.
I kind of feel that because like, I don't regret moving, and I still don't, and I want to move.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's a little bit sad with like, I won't be able to see you as much, which will be very sad. And as well as Ruth, and then my siblings I won't be able to see as much. I've gotten very used to this church.
Mm-hmm.
We, in some form or another, were part of this church since I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
We had like 6 years where we went to another church, and then we came back.
Yeah.
And so I have like half a dozen people at that church that I was friends with since 5 years old that I'm going to have to say goodbye to. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I also know this is what I want to do because I've seen, and this is something really hard for me, I'm seeing it's what the Lord wants me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time with faith. Because
Yeah.
logically, it's not really a better decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a horse apiece, plus you lose comfortability, you lose familiarity.
Yeah.
You can't just be late on your payments and expect it to all turn out well. There's a lot more responsibility to it. And so I just had to like trust that God was right in what he's saying, because multiple things, it was crazy, multiple things happened that convinced me, the Lord convinced me this is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing we need to stress with new beginnings.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of some people like, I'm gonna go move to Colorado, and it's like, that's great, but why?
Yes. Yeah.
I think, and that's something I've thought of, is you really should have a reason, especially for things that consequential. You should have a reason for doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because doing things just for the sake of doing them is gonna leave you empty. And I think it kind of goes along the lines of contentment you're talking about. Is that if you're discontent where you are, and this is something I've learned, if you're discontent where you are, you will never be content anywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
You will have, even if you get all the way to the top and you have millions and millions, you'll still feel empty or alone, or you'll feel poor
Yeah.
even though you're rich. And that's the big thing is, and probably something, I'd like to tell you guys is, don't be just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. Have a reason for what you're doing, and make sure that reason is centered around God and His Word, because the Lord wants only what's best for you. But if you're doing stuff just because you're unhappy with the way things are currently going, then you have the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Right? They had, their monarchy was bad. But instead of finding a good way to do it, it's like peace and war if we must. No, it was slaughter everyone for no reason if they're at all associated because of how mad we are. And at the end is hilarious because halfway through, the rebels started getting rebelled against. Because the people there were like, I'm not for this.
Yeah.
I'm not for all this murder and slaughtering. And so the rebels started torturing and silencing people that were rebelling against the rebellion. And it's like, because they didn't have a good reason. They were upset about their situation, but they didn't handle it in a good way. And so a lot of times, and I've thought about this before, there's been multiple times, especially when I was younger, where I just wanted to run away and just start it all again. And even when I was a kid, I thought that once. But even when you're 18 and you just want to move out and go somewhere and just be on your own, be away from all this stress. And it all came back to, it's like, but why? Because if there's stress in your life, you're the reason for it. And actually, it's kind of hard to hear because a lot of people can coax that stress and help it get worse. And a lot of people can be very bad for you. But at the end of the day, if you are stressed or you're discontent, it's your decision. Because both of those hinge on emotion.
Yeah.
And emotion can be manipulated, but it can't be controlled by anyone else.
Yeah.
And so I guess I would warn against new beginnings for the sake of new beginnings.
Yeah. If you're just going out, you're just like, I'm gonna start fresh just because I'm bored with my current life. That's
bored with my current life, upset with my current life.
That's just it's not a good way to do it. A thought I had was with new beginnings. So let's just say it's something that you're positive. It's this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep. There's a good reason for it.
Yeah, good reasons.
Yep.
Something I'm supposed to be doing. But transition.
Oh yeah.
Transition. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. It's like how do we handle transition? Like some people handle it very well. Something new, different. They handle that very well. Whereas other people, stuff that change, something new that's not. They don't. There's things they don't handle very well.
Yeah, I would say. So how are you with that?
I'm very good at change.
See, that's the problem,
handle
is
it
so
very
am
well.
I.
Yes.
So, I don't know, should we get a third perspective?
Um,
Just a quick comment on that?
we could. It's something that because well, okay. Ruth is
Yeah.
not very good at
Yeah, Ruth does not like change.
with change. It's hard to handle and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people, but it's
It's a pretty... You're saying it's a simple process. There's steps.
not necessarily. It's just something that I'm just saying it's something I've had to,
Yeah.
I guess, help with on the opposite
That's
side
true.
of things.
That's true.
And
And
so,
I would say for me, it's weird because I do enjoy new things.
mhm,
And that has to do with my hyperactive personality. Is that I can get bored easily,
mhm,
even with life. So I really like new things, and new events. Like when we moved, I really liked it. But turns out my mind really likes change,
mhm,
but my emotions sometimes have trouble keeping up
mhm,
with
yeah.
changing. And I found that out pretty quick when we moved, because all of a sudden throughout like the 6 months after we moved, I was just I don't know, I was kind of a wreck, just trying to sift through my own emotions and sift through all this stuff that I didn't realize were still there. You know, I feel like for a lot of people, because like for the longest time, and you know this, I was a people pleaser. And as a people pleaser, if you have emotions that are not positive, you take them and you stuff them way, way, way down inside where you never feel them. And then you just keep living. Well, what happened, and I don't know why the move triggered it, but with the move, it triggered all of those emotions. And all of a sudden, I started feeling them all again.
Mhm.
And yeah. So I feel like, and I think half of it is that there's a lot of stress in change.
Mhm.
And the two ways to deal with it is, like Ruth, I think one reason she has difficulties with change is she feels everything immediately
Mhm.
and externally. So she has to deal with it right away,
Yes. Yeah.
which is kind of a healthier way to do things. Whereas with me, usually if it's a stressful situation, which is also why I handle well under stress, is any emotions I have, I just like lock them away, and then only my logic is there. I'm like, we just need to do this. We need to go. If I'm under pressure, if I'm under stress, like there was one time where my sister, basically the skin of her head split open, and it was nasty. Like Joy was not doing good with it. Becca was not doing good with it, and my parents had just left for the night to go on a date or whatever, and so, and usually I'm actually not very good with blood.
Mhm.
Like if I see it like on TV and they're talking about something, and gross, yuck, and I just. But when it came to her, I was the most calm you could imagine. And I think I even drove her to the hospital. Yeah, I drove her to the hospital. I got her cleaned up, stopped the bleeding, drove her to the hospital, and I was perfectly calm. And I had a bunch of emotions and anxiety inside. I just didn't let them out.
Mhm.
But I think when it comes to change and new beginnings, with all the stress that builds up with trying to make that happen, I think I have the tendency to, in the moment, I'm good, I'm chill, I'm fine, just need to get everything. But as soon as the pressure is off, my brain just goes, what was that?
Mhm.
And so I think one other thing is to be mindful of how you're thinking and what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because in the moment, you may feel great, or like at camp. It's excitement, and I really like it. But when I'm done with camp, I'm just like, and I just an absolute wreck, and it's because I just go 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 go, and then. So be careful about the crash.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I was just thinking about with people who don't do well with change. What what it kind of is that they're scared of the change. Like everything's gonna be different. They're anticipating the change. It's just it's something that they're nervous about, and so usually the biggest issue for those people is before the change happens.
Yeah.
And even while it happens, and then very often they're feeling, they, like you're saying, they feel that change and like, okay, everything's different now. A lot of times it's kind of a matter of overthinking it.
Yes.
And so for those type of people, is have to remember to just relax. Just what was I thinking? But they're anticipating it, so it's a big deal. But then after it happens, it usually winds down, and they're usually able to they're fairly well adapted and able to continue on with it. But whereas like people who are good with change, who are like change is easy, just keep going, it's fine, whatever. It often takes like they can just change happens, get on and go, and it's
And then
not a big deal,
sometimes,
but
yeah.
it takes longer for it to fully set in, for it to fully process.
Yes. Yeah, and I think sometimes you can carry those emotions for a very long time until they start bogging down your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually when there's, I feel like I heard a lot of people talking about this with the pandemic, where they were like at a corporate job or doing sports, or just something where they're always going. They're going, you're going. Forget about emotions, you're just going.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the pandemic hit and they're like, well, we have to just stay inside for weeks with nothing to do.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that I heard that, like, all of a sudden things they hadn't thought about for years are just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because they were just too busy to process it. And I think that's one thing with change, is that sometimes you're too busy to process the change. So probably I probably should, and you should remind me to take a bit, basically after August, to process that change.
Yeah.
Because it's it's worth processing, so that you actually know what you're doing when you're there.
Yeah. For everybody, when coming to something new, do your best to take the time, like I said, to process. Take some time, like after. So a new beginning. Once you begin something, there's a lot going on for the change. Things are different.
Yeah, get yourself set up first.
Yeah, as soon as everything's set up, everything's going the way it needs to be. Take some time to just process it, to essentially sit down and just be like, this happened. Like, for example, in a move.
Yes.
You've got everything moved. Once you have everything moved, maybe even after everything's like unpacked, in at least the general location of where it's going to be, stuff changes places, but whatever.
Of course.
Get to that point, and then, take a little bit of time, however, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour or something. Just sit down on the couch, sit down somewhere comfortable where you can see a decent amount of the place you just moved to, and you be like, this is
This is my
life now.
house.
This is
Yeah, this is life now. That's the
Yes.
biggest thing, because it's like, wow, this is my life. I mean, this is my house. Cool. This is my town. Cool. This is my church. But then you have to go, wait. This is my life. Actually, that's kind of profound,
yeah.
because it's like, I'm not going back.
Yes, it's not, for example, vacation.
Yeah.
Everybody loves vacation. You're going to a new location.
Yep.
You're dealing with new stuff, but you're look at it and be like, this is my life now. But also, even take a bit of time, maybe walk around your new location. Just look at everything.
Yeah.
Familiarize yourself with the different rooms, the different setup. Maybe even think ahead about like how can I make this permanent in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
Because like it's time to change what's normal. Because
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things
With
is
change.
I know. I just wish everything would go back to normal. Well, normal always changes.
That's
Normal's different
so
for everybody.
true. And that's the other thing, and we kind of touched on that when we were talking about forgiveness.
Mhm.
Is that you can forgive, but you can't. Your relationship will never go back to normal,
Yes.
because even though you've forgiven, forgotten, and you treat them as if they're not guilty, you're treating them as a new person,
Yes. Now there's a new person. Now there's a new normal.
which means you start over. So even though when it's hilarious, they talked about that with the pandemic. They said the new normal, and at first a lot of people got mad about that. Like, how dare they? They're trying to brainwash us. Now that I think about that a little more, we're always in a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly in a new reality.
Yeah. So like right now, normal life for you is you you sleep till late morning,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Get up, do some stuff, and then you drive down to Green Bay, Appleton. You drive around till ridiculous hours of the morning, come home and repeat.
Yep.
But then once you move, it's going to be fairly similar in the fact that the the um
The routine
the routine, yes, of the day
will be similar.
will be very similar. You sleep till mid morning, late morning.
Yep.
You get up, do some stuff for the day, go to whether in town there in Oshkosh or Appleton area,
Yep.
then drive around till ridiculous hours in the morning. But now, instead of coming back and going into your parents' basement, now you're going to be going to a different location. You're going
Yeah.
to be going in through the front door and up the stairs.
Yeah.
You're going to go up the stairs and you're going to turn right into your bedroom rather than going down in this big open room and your bed's just kind of thrown in the middle there. Now you'll have a bedroom. Now you have an extra room, a kitchen, dining room area, a bathroom. That's all your space now.
Yeah.
That's your new normal.
When I wake up, there won't be anybody in my bedroom yelling at me to play Minecraft. No. I like playing Minecraft. But yeah, that is. Oh man, the more when you put it that way, it's more mind-boggling.
Yeah. And then for me, my new normal is, well, by the time this comes out, it'll be that, and same for you. But for me, it's going to be, I will be, right now I get up at like 5:15, somewhere in there, and I leave the house around 5:45-ish.
Mhm.
I walk to work with Ben, and I start work at 6. While with Pat's, work doesn't start till 6:30. So I haven't figured out my schedule of when I'll be getting up and stuff, but more often than not, I'll probably have to drive to work rather than
because
walking.
it's further away.
I might end up biking, but
That's true.
it's still different. I'm not gonna be walking. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to either bike or drive. I don't know what the schedule of the day is gonna be like there. So like how long you work, take a break or lunch.
Oh,
stuff like
yep,
that.
yep.
I don't know, but then I'll get off at 3. So from 6:30 to 3, rather than if it was an 8-hour day here at Northwood, it's 6 to 2:30. So
Yep.
that's gonna be a little different. That's my new beginning. That's my new normal. And then I'll come home do so. The rest of my life is fairly normal, but my job is gonna change.
Yeah.
And so but back to what we were saying is just once you've gotten things going on your new normal, take some time to just be like, this is my life
normal.
now.
This is my
Yeah.
life. This isn't just a job. This isn't just a house. This is my life.
I won't be going back.
Yeah.
This isn't a time off from what I used to do.
Yeah.
This is what I do now.
I think that's kind of because like you see college. This is something I've seen in college where they see college as like a part of their life, and they think it's like, okay, this is my life now, and they make college their life, but then they're done with college and they're like, all right, back to normal. It's like, that's something where it's like you thought it was the new normal when really it was just something you did in your normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
when
in that case, college should be the transition to a new normal.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree. And so it's basically how it is. 37. Okay, cool.
yeah, we still a little bit.
We got time. We can talk about more. Yeah, cuz that's so true is that you need to cuz a lot of people I feel like and even for me a lot of times I feel like, well, if anything goes wrong, you always want to have a plan B. And but there's certain changes that you'll make in your life and certain new normals that will happen where there is no plan B.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the other fears of change.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not to people that are normally scared of change, but maybe more for people more like me, is that if this doesn't work, like, yes, I could go home, but I don't want to. And so you want to try to make this change last. I want to, if I move out of the apartment I'm at, I want to move into a different apartment or a house. I don't want to.
You don't want to backtrack. You just want.
I don't want to backtrack.
Keep moving.
I thankfully have learned when you're past the past, it's gone. Like, I've heard so many people, oh man, I wish things were like, when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 15, 19, 35. It's just this longing for the past. And when you really think about it, the past wasn't all that great. You had less responsibility, but you had less opportunity, less fulfillment. Your life meant less. Less valuable, but there was less to you. And so if you really think about it and you really put it in perspective, you made this change for a reason. And often it's hard. But especially for those of us that believe in the Lord, we know that there's a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be easy to lose sight of that. I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the actually that brings me to a thought. What if it was?
What it was?
What if you start something new?
Mm-hmm.
You do something, and you're like, "This is it. This is great," and you're like, "Whoa, this is not." There's something about it. Red flag. This is bad. What do you do then? If you're in a situation,
So you're saying you've gotten to a new normal.
Yeah, a new
You've
normal.
settled in.
A big new
then-
normal, say a house, a job, a relationship, where you've settled in and there's some amount of, dependency.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, I was wrong.
Well, for those of us that are Christian, it sounds very cliche to say this, but at the same time, it's very true. Just need to trust in God.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the hardest things for us
Yeah.
as humans, as Christians, is trusting in God. Like, God has control over my situation, and He knows what He's going to do. There is some situations where you're able to go back to where you were. And that's the best plan of action.
Yeah.
Because just maybe it's a situation like, okay, I need to take a step back, reevaluate,
Yes.
and then try to move forward again. More often than not, that's probably how it's going to happen. So don't get all stressed out about how horrible everything happened, how horrible everything went in whatever situation this was. Take a step back, maybe step back to what the comfort used to be, but don't stay there.
Yes.
That's the biggest issue. If your new beginning, the new situation that you've stepped into goes wrong and you can't continue with it, maybe take a step back, but don't stay there.
Yeah.
If you know you're not supposed to be in this spot and that's why you took a new step, then don't stay. Now, if you took that new step and you realize, I wasn't supposed to do that, I wasn't supposed to leave where I was, then go back and stay there.
Exactly. But keep moving forward.
Yeah, but keep moving forward within the old normal.
Exactly.
There's many different ways to keep going. Maybe this whole situation was to get you out of your comfort zone and to kind of get you thinking about, like, okay, what can I change in my current normal to make it better? Maybe not better in the fact that, oh, I'm just happier, I like my life now better, but better in the fact that it's genuinely just better for me.
And the people around me.
Yeah, for me, the people around me, it's just, what can I be doing better in this situation to make my old normal new?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you kind of had an experience like that just recently. Not that you got into something and realized it was wrong, just that you were evaluating a choice of going and helping with New Life permanently, and seeing if that was what God wanted you to do for your new normal, what He wanted your new beginning to be, starting at a different church, helping a different pastor in a different town with a different work. What did you find from that?
That was definitely something. So I am married. A lot of big decisions like that affect both of us. We both prayed a lot about that and just took stock of everything that was going on in what I guess we would say is our current normal.
Yeah.
Because, so, like you're saying, we're helping a different church. We have been going up there every Sunday morning, and just kind of helping them get started, kind of get a routine going with where they were at right then. What they're starting a new church in the
Yeah.
area. And anyway, the pastor and his wife asked us to pray about and consider becoming full time there.
Yeah.
And so we did. And like, okay, God, what do we do? This isn't if we should do this, show us this, or if we should do this, show. It was just I just don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's from my point of view, for both of us, we could see like there's benefits on both sides, and
Yeah.
like so pros and cons of both sides are fairly
Even.
yeah,
Yeah.
nearly a horse apiece, as the saying goes. And so we're like, what do we do? But then, so as we prayed about it, and we did have a deadline. It was like, okay, we need to know by this time. Prayed about it more, and then just things were happening in our current normal. Different things were coming up, different situations, and God is showing us, hey, I need you to stay here and essentially stay here and make a difference in your current normal. I need you to change these few things, and going to New Life did help us get a different perspective on some things.
Okay.
And it was good in that fact, and we're able to kind of take a step back from our current normal
Yeah.
and evaluate it and be like, okay, now we step back in and we're able to come at it from a different viewpoint
Yeah.
and just be like, okay, we know we're supposed to be here, and now we've got some new things within our current beginning or current normal to that we need to be doing differently, that we think that God is wanting us to do.
That's really good. So not because he's like, all right, this is where you're going to be now, permanently.
Mm.
But sometimes it's just to teach you a lesson.
So sometimes there's things that look like a new beginning,
Yeah.
but it's what you just said. It's just a lesson. It's just God trying to show a different perspective on your current normal. He's wanting you to change something different within your current situation. Is like, here's something that could be big, that
Yeah.
but it's not. There's something I've noticed too with myself and a lot of different things in my life is that there are times that I have felt like God was calling me to do something.
Yeah.
And so I submitted to that, and then as soon as I submitted to it, I was like instantly God's like, "Oh no, I don't want you to do that. I just want to make sure you were available. I want to make sure you're
You're
willing."
still submitted.
Yeah. So for us as Christians, that's a big part of our life. Is God just wants a big part of our life, no matter whether we're staying our current just normal life,
Yep.
or whether we're stepping into something new. God is always wanting us to be fully trusting in Him,
Yeah.
fully relying on Him in all of our situations, and very often there is often enough where something looks like maybe there is a new normal that God's wanting us to step into, a new beginning, but it's just a test of our
Yeah.
faith in Him or trust in Him.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I know for me in fact it's hilarious because that's actually kind of it's true, but also I had that experience with my new normal
Mm-hmm.
because I've been raised to be very logical.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole family has. And so a lot of times I think, oh, what good will it do? Is it the right choice financially, this, that, and the other? And it was weird because at first I thought, because you never really know what trusting in God is until you start trusting in God.
Yes.
Because at first I thought trusting in God means throwing caution to the wind and just like assuming what God's saying, because it seems fantastical, trusting in
Yes.
God. Because for the longest time I'm still horrible with faith.
Mm.
I'd rather, I'm a critic, I'm a skeptic. I need to know everything. So I'm horrible with faith. And for a while, I just didn't really trust God on much. I just kind of relied on my own senses. It didn't get me very far. And so, when trusting in God, what he did, and I saw him do it, like I just in real time, was he said, I want you to do this. Do you trust me? And I had to go, yes. Yes, I trust you. He goes, okay. Also, here's all the evidence you've ever been asking for. After you said yes.
Yes.
To confirm that, yes, I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
It's like, what? Because I was, I've actually talked to you about moving to Green Bay or Oshkosh or something like that for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to move for a while just because family life isn't easy. I love my family, but there's things it's just yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been ever since I turned 18, there's been certain times where I've looked for opportunities to move out because I had been wanting to for a while. And thing after thing got in the way. And I realized most of those things were me. Different things I got myself involved with that didn't allow me to move. And finally, I got to the point where it was just me and God. And then finally, I was at... Actually, it all started at a missions conference, And then I went to a church. Then I talked to a pastor. And in fact, your dad, one thing he was talking about trying to get an affordable rent if I'm actually wanting to save up. And the exact number he said, it's like, try to get it for this price. Then you can actually start saving money. I got it for that price. Exactly. Yeah. On the dot. And just things like that just started lining up. And all of this happened after I surrendered.
Yes, yeah.
I said, if you want me to go to Oshkosh, I will. And he's like, also, boom, here's an apartment, here's a job, here's a church. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of things I've seen along those lines is for me with just jobs.
Yeah.
I've looked into multiple other jobs.
Yeah.
Over the years, and all of them have been jobs that would have been a good step up. And one thing I had to do with each one was like, all right, God, if you want me, or should I get this job? And very often I felt like God was saying, apply for it. Apply for it. Put in an application, whatever. And if I want you to get the job, I'll let you know by giving you the job.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's really the best way to get an answer on that. It's like, God, I don't know if you want me to get this job or not, so I'm going to apply for it. If you don't want me to get the job, decline the application.
Yeah.
And so that happens multiple times.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I applied the job that I'm transferring to right now. I applied for this job a few years ago, just after we got married, I think,
Okay.
and it was declined at that point.
Hmm.
But now I can see this is where God's moving me to, and so it's just been really interesting in that. Also, for me, when we got married, or when we were getting up to our wedding, we were engaged and everything. I did not have a house. I didn't have a
Yes.
place to live. Um, and I honestly wasn't too worried about it. So I was like, God says, "My God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus." I need a house.
Yeah.
And so I know you'll supply it.
Well, and not only did you not have a house, you also didn't have a credit score.
Yes.
Which, according to the world, you need a credit score to get a house.
Yeah, I didn't have a credit score. I'm pretty sure I still don't, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have somewhat of one because mortgage does
Yes.
add to it.
But
But
at
not
the same
really.
time, yeah, I still essentially don't.
Yeah.
But my dad told me multiple times. He's like, "You're gonna have to rent because we're coming to within 2 months of getting
Wow.
married. We'd already decided the date. We were getting ready
Yep.
for the wedding. We were within 2 months. I didn't even have any houses in prospect yet.
So basically, you're like, all right, well, I'm probably gonna have to rent an apartment.
Actually, no.
No.
I told Dad, I'm like, no, I'm not going to rent. I will not rent.
No way.
I'm like, I need a house,
Yeah.
and I know God will provide one. A month before, I don't know if it was even a month, but before we got married, we found this house,
Yeah.
and the guy had it up for sale for $70,000, which was a good price at the time.
Yeah.
Now that's an amazing price, but at
Yes.
the time that was a good price. And so we met with him, and I was like, well, I don't have a credit score. The bank that I use just for my checking savings account, they won't give me a loan. I already talked with them about this.
Yeah.
But I have it. So I asked him, I said, would you consider a rent to own situation? And he's like, maybe, but why don't you check out the bank that I use? The guy who's saying,
Yep.
why don't you check out the bank that I use before, and then figure it out from there. So I went in, like, hey, I need a loan for, and we also talked about the price, and he agreed to $65,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
I need a loan for $65,000. At the time, I had $27,000 in
Yes.
my bank account. Or no, wait. Yeah, no, $27,000 in my bank account.
Yeah.
So that I can use. How much should I use? 15. I can use 15,000 as a down payment, and so they're like, well, you don't have a credit score. You're how old was I? 18 at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I was gonna be 19 by the time we got married. But you're 18 at the time. You don't have a credit score, but you know this guy was the president of the loan department or something like that. But he's
Okay.
like, but we'll talk to the board and we'll get this figured out. We'll see if we can do this for you. And my dad was also there. He's like, I can co-sign if he needs it and stuff like that. Yeah, well, they talked about that. I showed a bunch of different records of like paying my phone bill, my records of bank deposits, what I had deposited into my bank, stuff like that. Yeah, so I ended up getting it's an adjustable rate mortgage, but it's fixed for the first 7 years and then goes up from there. I got an adjustable rate mortgage at a fixed rate of 4% interest for the first 7 years. And I didn't need a cosign, and I got the full price for the mortgage, and it was like, but I signed on it, got the house. The house was mine 2 weeks before we got married.
Yes, I remember that. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I didn't have a house until 2 weeks. before I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
married.
that's insane.
Or maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks.
I think it was 2. Yeah.
It was
It was something like-
November 11th. We got married November 30th. So
I'm bad at
just
math.
over 2.
Okay. But yeah, so that's that's
There's-
awesome.
There's new beginnings, and when when you're positive, that's what God wants you to do. He will provide, so you just gotta trust in Him.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess to wrap it up, if you are already in a new beginning, remember this is your new life, and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Take some time to just, as Elon Musk did when he bought Twitter, let that sink in. Did you see that? He actually
No.
brought a sink into Twitter HQ as a pun when he bought the company.
That's awesome.
And then if this isn't what God has for you, then it's okay to go back. But don't go back the same person.
Yes. Yeah.
Go back and try to make your current normal new with what you've learned. And then if you are about to transition into a new normal, just know that if this is God's will, He'll figure out the details. You just got to trust Him. So, with that being said, Andrew, what are you most looking forward to in this next chapter of your life?
Most looking forward
What's the aspect of this new, in this case, this new job that you're like, this is going to be great?
I don't know, actually. Pretty much everything about it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to everything about this new job, the new situation that I'll be going into.
Yeah.
More people interaction, more stuff that I enjoy doing, more pay. I just figured that out today because I had done the math wrong. So it's actually
okay.
gonna be $1 an hour more.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be. They don't play music. That's gonna be so
Oh,
nice.
yes.
Yes.
Hallelujah. No TikTok radio station. Blech.
Thankfully, they don't get that very much on Northwood, but yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just looking forward to everything about the new beginning that I'm stepping into.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
What about me? I think probably what I'm looking forward to the most is the meeting new people. Because in my new situation, I'll be in a new church. Also have the opportunity to interact with a lot of people that don't go to that church, but that go to another church in that also loves the Lord. I'm really looking forward to that. Also, just I guess kind of like the uncertainty is kind of interesting. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'd love to find out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then kind of I don't know if I'll have this. Who knows? Maybe my situation won't be the way I'm imagining it. But kind of peace. Having a little bit of peace, because when you have, currently we have
7 kids.
7 people in the house.
There's 9 in the house, but there's
9 people total in the
Yeah.
house. One of which Beth doesn't hardly do. She's
essentially not in the house.
she's virtually non-existent. But with having 5 younger siblings that are still younger siblings for sure, it can get pretty chaotic. And it's just it's a lot.
Yeah. There's 3 little kids, 2 not quite so little kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, your house is crazy, man.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, moving, and, by this time I'll already have been moved. It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of peace. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't want to be too optimistic.
Yeah.
It's just a prediction, an assumption. Anyway, so that was, I really like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more laid back. A lot of ours, it's very structured. We got definitions, we have methods, we have formulas. And I like that. I'm just kind of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, this is coming out the 11th.
Mm-hmm. July 11th.
July 11th. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
I hope I'm doing good. This is, and the other two after this will also be pre-recorded.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after this, we'll be taking a 1 month break in August. And then season 4.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be, whether it's going to be pre-recorded, live, most likely pre-recorded, but we don't know for sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
I actually have some interesting video ideas.
Mm.
I haven't really been doing any videos other than the podcast just because of life and lack of organization. But I'm hoping to get some new videos starting in season 4 of the channel. But with that said, thank you guys all for watching, especially the people that are watching right now.
Yes. I was just gonna say next week we'll be live.
Next week?
Or sorry, not next week from this video, but the video before. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter to
It's
you.
the video before was already live. You're welcome.
Anyway, yeah, so keep going.
But yeah, especially if you made it this far.
Yes.
That means you're one that is a true supporter. And thank you.
Support us monetarily. No. Sorry.
Anyway,
I
we will continue.
Yeah.
We might think about monetization at some point.
Did you know that there's a link in all of our audio only descriptions that people can click on and choose an option to monthly support this channel?
Yes, I actually set that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just saw
it's
that
in the
today. I'm like,
monetization area.
Interesting.
Yeah. But with that being said, thank you guys all for listening. I really enjoy this. I hope you enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And we will see you guys next week for the season finale.
No. This
No?
is 11.
This is 11. We'll see you guys next week. The season finale is in 2 weeks.
Next week, next episode after today, we have a guest.
We do have a guest.
Then the season finale.
Then the season finale.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.